We're back with the top 10 worst travel experiences that we've had so far.
Also known as our bottom 10 travel experiences.
If you're new around here, please subscribe to our channel. It supports us, it helps us so much.
Okay, I'll start with number 1 because it was mainly me that had the bad experience. And it wasn't like all bad, but I did feel like I was going to die at one point.
You were pale. You were pale.
I was panicking. We were riding, we went on a nice little elephant ride in Bali. We both sat on the bench chair on the back and we went around the course thing and whatever, and that was all good. But then afterwards, we had a little photo opportunity. We had to like sit on the elephant's neck, I guess. The head is so big, you can't just like, there's nothing to grab onto. So you're just like sitting on this neck and you just gotta like put your hands on its head and that's how you hold on. And I think I nearly died that day.
He looked like he was gonna fall off. I was so worried because you looked wobbly on that thing.
Well, I thought I was just gonna like fall off the front of its head.
You looked like that.
I think,
so
yeah,
David's legs were basically dangling by the ears. So instead of him like putting his legs together, your legs were dangling, which makes you feel more unstable.
I think the only way to really hold on to it is to pretty much like squeeze its neck with your legs, which I wasn't doing because I just felt bad.
Yeah.
But
I think it was
then it was like it was going around, it was backing up, it was doing these things up onto the log, and it would turn around and then it would like back up to this stump and then it would put its back legs on the log, so I'm over here.
It went in the water
facing down.
As well.
Yeah, it was pretty scary. I did think like if I fall off and this thing steps on me, I'm a goner.
Number 2 is when we were in Egypt. We knew it was going to be chaotic, but I didn't know it was this chaotic. The driving was crazy. The people are very overwhelming. Like a lot of them will come up to you and try and get money off you and
get pictures with you.
Get pictures with you, which is fine. The pictures is fine, but like there's a lot of people after money.
Yeah.
And on the tours, they'll purposely take you to these shops where they obligate you to buy stuff as well. Anyway, one of the bad experiences we had is David's drone got confiscated, which was really scary for us because it was a lot of money. So we're walking into the pyramids of Giza and they're speaking in Egyptian or whatever and they take David's drone. And it seemed like our tour guide wasn't even sure if we were going to get that back.
It went through the x-ray machine, they pulled it out and they're like, no, you can't have this in here. We'd already been traveling for like 4 weeks around and hadn't had a problem with the drone anywhere up until that point.
Yeah.
And then it just got taken and they can't speak our language and they look like they just don't care and they're a bit dodgy and whatever, so it was, we didn't really know what was going on with that, but we got it back.
Got it back, you went with the tour guide, you got it back, so that was good. It was just scary when people are like, they're very loud and they're very like rough and abrupt with the way they speak, so you're just like, oh my gosh, am I gonna go to jail? And then also in Egypt, we got ripped off at immigration. Yeah,
so first they told us that the little visa that they stick into your passport was 400 Egyptian pounds each. And then in the very next sentence it went up to 410 Egyptian pounds each. So then we went and got 900 out of the ATM. We gave them that and they gave us 50 Egyptian pounds change.
Yeah.
So they ripped us off right at the immigration.
That was our first experience.
It's like, welcome to Egypt and we're gonna rip you off. Have a good day. And then after that, we also got ripped off with a official government taxi ride back to our accommodation.
Which is 5 minutes down the road.
Yeah, like literally.
Yeah.
3 to 5 minutes down the road, and it was like 10 USD or something.
Yeah.
So the first thing was 20 USD. We dropped him straight to 10, and then the next day we found out that we could have probably dropped him to about 2.
Yeah.
So
yeah. We got an Uber ride further than that, which costed us like $2.
Yeah. Egypt was still good. It's just there's some things you need to be aware of.
Another crazy experience we had, I don't want to say this is bad because this was in Jerusalem and, you know, Israel, the holiest city in the world. We had no idea that they shut everything down for the Sabbath. So from sundown Friday to sundown Saturday, there is no trains, there's no public transport. No one's driving their cars. This is a holy day for the Jewish people.
Yeah, we weren't aware how much it all just like shuts down, and so we didn't know where we were going to eat. We had transport that we needed from Jerusalem to Tel Aviv or something like that.
Yeah.
We paid a premium for that because not many people are doing it on those days because everything's shut down.
Yeah.
So yeah, just a warning.
Well, yeah, if you ever go to Israel, you're probably not going to get food, you're probably going to starve that day. But our tour guide was nice enough to allow us to eat at the hotel for free that night, and that's how we ended up having dinner. But if she wasn't nice and didn't offer that to us, we would have starved for the night because there was
that buffet
nowhere.
was expensive.
It was.
Number 4 is kind of hard for me to talk about, honestly. I'm still traumatized. This was on a holiday on the east coast of Australia. During COVID times, we did a van trip from Brisbane up to Cairns, all up the coast. And one spot in 1770, it's just a nice coastal town. We thought, oh, what are we going to do today? Let's go do some snorkeling. And then we jumped on this last minute boat.
The skipper warned us. He said, it's choppy out there. If you're prone to getting seasick, don't go out.
And I was like, oh, I'll be fine. I've grown up on boats.
Yeah, you're
I'm
like,
not
what's
exactly
prone? I don't know what prone to seasick is. We thought it was like a 15-minute ride.
Yeah, we thought, oh yeah, it'll just be around the corner. We got out of the marina and the captain comes over the thing. He's like, okay, so it's going to be a 90-minute passage. And as soon as I heard that, I knew this was a big mistake because we've just got out of the marina and the boat is already like fully listing side to side, front to back. And it ended up taking about 2 hours and 10 minutes.
Oh yeah, it was longer.
Because it was so rough. And I vomited for about 2 hours of that 2 hours and 10 minutes. I was literally vomiting about 10 minutes into our trip.
That's not even an exaggeration. Every 10 minutes, David was throwing up. 80% of our boat was throwing up. Like, you could just hear everyone. People were trying to run to the bathroom, which is, they say it's like the worst thing to do. They were running to the bathroom. It was a nightmare. It was a nightmare.
It was a literal nightmare.
So next weird experience we had was when we were in Bali. We were riding on the moped and this guy comes from nowhere on his moped and he just like pulls us over. So we pull over and he's like, are you looking for the rice fields? And we're like, yeah. And then he was like, oh yeah, follow me, it's this way. And we were like, okay.
GPS says it's this way.
Yeah, we're like, okay. So we followed him, but like we could have easily just drove off if we were like feeling like it was somewhere dodgy.
Yeah.
But anyway, we followed him and everything, and we get to this place, and there's the rice fields, but it's not what I was looking for. I was like, this does not look like the rice fields I was looking for. Anyway, we follow him and everything, and he gets us this tea.
Yeah.
Oh, what
brings us
were we
this like
thinking?
tea tasting thing.
Yeah, and he's like, sit here, no money. Oh, he keeps saying to us,
Yeah.
he's like, no charge, no money. And we're
Good
like,
karma.
oh, we don't want to pay. Yeah, he's like, this is good karma. Should have known by that. But anyway, he's like, no money, no charge. Then he brings out this tea, like all these different teas for us to try. And we're sitting there and we're sipping on the tea and he's like, no charge.
By this time we're thinking, yeah, this guy wants us
sketchy.
to buy something or...
Yeah.
Like, there's no way this is all obligation free.
Yeah.
And anyway, we ended up just like pretty much cutting it short and walking out.
I think we just realized, okay,
Yeah,
wait,
we got sucked in.
What was getting, yeah. And so we're like, let's go. And so we said to this guy, we're like, look, like, where are the rice fields? Like, where's the swing or whatever? I was like, is it this one? He's just like, yeah. Like, he didn't, he was so mad.
He was pretty filthy.
He was so mad after telling us, no money, I'm good, I'm a good man, I'm good this, blah, blah, blah. He was so mad at us for not buying anything. And I was like, no.
Yeah.
You're on the wrong, buddy. Anyway, we left and we ended up finding the right rice fields that I saw on Google.
Okay, the next one that we want to talk about is when Sarah ended up in hospital in Singapore. It's never ideal when you end up in hospital in a foreign country. We had no idea like what was going on or anything. Turns out she was a bit dehydrated and some
Lacking electrolytes.
Nothing too serious, but like that was pretty scary. we ended up going in an ambulance and all that kind of stuff.
I think it was from the heat and then going in the cold, and that was just not agreeing with me. So I ended up in hospital, but it wasn't a super bad experience. Everyone was really nice, and it only costed $100.
And it was a quick recovery after that as well.
Yeah, because they put me on a drip, and I don't know what was in that drip, but I was like, oh, I had so much energy.
That drip sorted her out. Number 7 is when we were trying to get from the airport in Santorini up to our accommodation. Santorini is very like hilly, and we were gonna get charged like €50 or something, I think, to get a taxi.
Yeah.
It was a very short trip, so we ended up getting like the public transport, but the public transport didn't take us all the way, and then we had to walk the rest of the way in this really, it was hot.
Yeah.
We had our suitcases, our backpacks, everything. And the streets in Santorini are like cobblestone. They're like big, like fist-sized stones. And we're just dragging our things through these touristy areas, and it's just like and I think it was just like the stress of the day and the flights and everything else, and we were just taking it, probably me in particular.
Yeah.
We couldn't find our accommodation, and up and down stairs, up stairs, down hills, up hills.
Dragging those suitcases.
Yeah.
And it took us like, what, half an hour walk or something?
Mm.
Half an hour walk doing this.
And
Like,
we didn't even know if we were making any progress. I think that was like the clincher, but like...
and then in those moments you're just like, am I getting scammed? Like, is there even a place that I've booked, like, available? We couldn't see the caldera as well, and we booked an apartment, like, on overlooking the caldera,
Yeah.
so we were like, where is this place?
Where are we?
All we can see are buildings and no caldera, so this seems sketchy. But that was our fault, because David wanted to save some money as usual, so we had to walk instead of getting a taxi.
Which is why we can do these videos. You're welcome.
Number 8. So, I booked us a place on Orchard Street in Singapore, and I knew it was going to be a bit sketch, but I didn't know it was going to be this sketchy. Anyway, we turned up to our apartment. So on booking.com it said it had its own bathroom and its own room or whatever. We got to the place, this little short lady comes out, and there's a whole heap of shoes by the door, by the apartment that we're meant to, like, whatever, stay in.
And then we were like...
Yeah, I was like, why are there so many shoes here? Like, we were meant to be the only ones. I'm confused. Anyway, she's like, come, 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 come. And we walk inside with our suitcases, and there's like a shared bathroom that's like, oh, it's giving me the heaves thinking about it. But, you know, sharing a bathroom for us is just a big no-no. Unless it's like women's and men's.
Yeah.
Then it's fine. But like mixed, absolutely not. I'm not doing that. But yeah, there was a whole heap of people in there. There was like 5 people.
Yeah, it was basically like a bedroom in an apartment.
Yeah, like
That's what it
different
was.
bedrooms and then like a bathroom.
Yeah, and we had basically rented a bedroom and the use of the bathroom.
Yeah.
And we had no idea that that was the situation. So we basically ended up saying, keep
Bye.
your money for tonight.
Yeah.
Please refund us the money for the rest of the nights.
Yeah.
And we'll find somewhere else.
Yeah.
Number 9 is another drone related one. This one was in Ireland at the cliffs of Moher. If you haven't seen that video, you can check it out. It was really windy that day, and I thought, oh, it's a pretty good drone. It's big enough, it'll handle the wind. So I sent it up, and it was going great, but because it had like a tailwind behind it, it got really far away really quickly. So before I knew it, I was just like following the cliffs along, and then before I knew it, it was like a long way away. So then I was over the ocean, and the land is on this side, and then I just couldn't like get back onto the land. I think it was because there was maybe like an updraft up the cliffs. So I just couldn't do it. The battery was going flat. I couldn't physically see the drone anymore. I just didn't know what to do, and then I just kept pushing the the thing forward. I was like, go! I ended up like getting way high, and then I was able to get back over the land. Made an emergency landing in some cow field somewhere.
Someone's land.
Some muddy paddock.
I think you were like showing me the drone, and I was like, surely there's a map on here. Do you remember? I was like clicking stuff, and then we found a map that like was showing where it was.
Yeah.
And then that's when
we basically just followed the
map
to the thing, and we found it, and it worked out.
And this was like a windy day. The cliffs of Moher. If you don't know where that is, Google it. Massive cliffs. David is on the other side trying to find this drone. I'm on this side. It's windy. Go and watch the video, guys. You need to go and watch the video. Go and check it out. A lot of these experiences, if you go back to our videos, you'll be able to watch the video. Last but not least, oh my goodness. So, when we were in Bali, I was very, very careful with what we were eating because I did not want to get Bali belly, and everyone was telling me about Bali belly, and I was so scared to go to Bali. So I was like super watching everything and over the top. Anyway, David, on the other hand, was eating everything. We flew to Singapore, we got into Singapore. I said to David, be careful of the street food in Singapore, but the taxi guy or whatever, was like, no, it's clean, it's all good. So David decides to go to the street food market, have some chicken teriyaki.
Satay chicken. Satay chicken skewers.
He had satay chicken skewers.
And they went straight through me. I was in a bad way the next day. Very bad way. And we were trying to go out and make the most of everything, and honestly, it was not comfortable.
We don't know if it was the chicken skewers or if it was from Bali. We don't know. It could have been like
I
Bali.
think it was probably...
Who knows?
I think it was probably from Singapore. And guys, this isn't like some dodgy street food. This is like
famous.
A very famous, well-known street food market.
Like it's in movies and stuff.
Yeah, very well known. It's not dodgy at all. It's
Yeah.
not like a little rickshaw on the side of the road.
No.
But yeah, I ended up getting sick, and I have never needed a toilet so urgently.
I just all night could hear the toilet flushing, the shower, the toilet flushing, the shower. I was like, what is happening? What is happening? And then the next day, we were like on a time crunch as well in Singapore. So we had 4 days and we were trying to go to Sentosa Island and do all these different things. And so if someone was sick one day, we were like, great, now like we're fully stuffed around. And I remember you just being like, I'm sorry, you were right. I shouldn't have eaten it. Honestly,
it didn't really hold us up that much. Like, I was uncomfortable, but I still...
You were uncomfortable, but you were like pushing through for the day. But I was so worried about David that I think it added to me fainting that day. Or like,
yeah, so it went from me being the patient in the morning to Sarah being in hospital in the afternoon.
Because I was already not like feeling that good, but I think I was stressing out so much about David feeling uncomfortable and we're out that I was like, it was making me stress out, and then I ended up in hospital. Alright, well, we're going to wrap it up here. Sorry about the long story time video, but we hope that you guys enjoyed it and you were somehow entertained by our bad experiences.
Maybe you got a good warning for some upcoming travels. Drop it in the comments below. What was your worst travel experience?
Yeah, we want to hear about it.
But that's going to wrap it up for today. We hope you enjoyed.
And we'll see you in the next video.
Like and subscribe.